Welcome to episode 3 of my Minecraft Let's Play. In today's episode, I'm going to be talking about the 2022 NASCAR Cup Series schedule. My plan was to get around to this eventually towards the beginning, so I figure I might as well talk about it sooner rather than later, especially since the current season is coming to a close here in the next couple weeks. I've got the schedule pulled up next to me here so I can take a look at it. And I'm going to talk about it in order of things that I like, things that I don't like, and then kind of some suggestions, because I don't really want to just be negative the whole time. I'd like to actually give some suggestions of how the schedule can be fixed or made better or whatever. But so I guess I'll go ahead and start now with the things that I do like about it. One of them is the fact that Homestead was put back towards the end of the season. Now I'm still of the opinion that Homestead should be the season finale. Or I guess there would be other tracks that would work too. But I do think Homestead would work great as the finale. But it is still much better here as I think the third to last race in the season. Rather than having it as a race towards the very beginning of the season. So I do agree with that change. I really like that. Another change that I think that NASCAR did a good job with is the removal of Texas and Kansas from that the round of 8. I think they removed both races. Let me double check. I've got the schedule pulled up, but it's kind of hard to look at it at the same time. Yeah, okay, they removed both. Yeah, so I do like that change a lot. I definitely think it's also one of the better changes they could have made. While it still sucks to see Texas still in the is this Bedrock? It is. Okay. What Y level am I on? 5. Okay. I thought they let you get into the negatives otherwise. Maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, ooh, diamonds, let's go. But, yeah, I would prefer Texas to be, in the spring, have its one race in the spring. It's better to just, as long as it's not in the round of 8, it's not a crime to go there in the playoffs, I guess. I also think that Kansas getting moved is good, specifically because the tracks that they replaced it with, being Las Vegas being put in there, Vegas and Homestead, I think those tracks fit the round of 8 a lot better than Texas and Kansas. I don't know how I feel about 2 mile-and-a-halfs, although they do race entirely differently, so I'm not completely opposed to having, 2 mile-and-a-halfs in the round. Did I already go down here? I don't think I did. So I'm not opposed to it. We'll have to see how it works, but I think that's a good change. But in all honesty, I think that's it for all the changes that I like. There really weren't a whole lot of them. There were some substantial changes, like the overhaul of the round of 8. I do really like that they changed that stuff. They really did a good job with overhauling that. But now it's time to talk about things that I don't like. And this next point I'm about to talk about goes for the entire schedule, not just a specific track or a specific amount of tracks. I don't know what it is, but they're just getting rid of night races altogether. And it's really infuriating because I'm someone who prefers night races over day races to an extent. There's a couple tracks I'd say maybe Vegas and Chicagoland were no, Chicagoland no, because 2019 proved the night race would work. But I definitely think that I guess I forgot to turn off cave noises. Is that what some of the mobs are supposed to sound like? That's weird. Anyway, yeah, so I don't like that they're getting rid of the night races. There's a couple tracks, maybe Vegas, that races better in the day. But other than that, I really just don't. I can't think of any other ones off the top of my head that would race better in the day than they would at night. A lot of people argue that Richmond does. I'd have to disagree with that. And I'm going to talk more. Actually, I guess I'll mention it here. Both Richmond races now, for some reason, are in the day. I've never understood this. They did the same thing with Kansas too. Both races are in the day. Even with Las Vegas, with Vegas, they have 2 races there, and even though Vegas races better in the day, in my opinion at least, they still have both. They still have one race in the day, one race at night. So even they seem to understand that when it comes to the tracks that have 2 days, you should run one in the day and one in the night. But they didn't do that. They didn't do that for a lot of the tracks. Richmond, Kansas, and then there's a bunch of other ones. Like, I would love to see an Auto Club night race again. I think Texas, the All-Star race is at night, so that's, I guess, understandable. But for years, it wasn't the case. While Texas did not have the All-Star race, they still did both their races in the day, which was very weird to me. I don't know why I'm keeping this dirt and rotten flesh around. I'm going to throw those out. Also, I still can't remember if they added like a backpack or not to the crafting recipes. I'll have to look that up for next episode. But yeah, overall, I really don't like that they're phasing out the night races. I really don't see the point. Especially because, they do all this crap to try to get West Coast viewers. They have these races start really late, and I'll get into that in a second. But you'd think that they would have more night races, because then that means starting really late prime time, But anyway, speaking of the start times, also this goes for every, or at least almost every race. Most of the races just don't start early enough. I think Talladega is a good example of the fact that on Sunday afternoon we could have gotten in probably more of the race than they actually got in on Monday afternoon before the rains hit. So while we probably wouldn't have been able to finish the race, I as much as I hate rain delay kind of races where we don't get to finish it, I still think it's overall better to try to get the race in as early as possible on the day that it's being run, unless it's a night race, of course. And I do understand a lot of NASCAR viewers, go to church and everything like that. You include it, whether they go to church or they watch it online or whatever, because pandemic stuff. Either way, I do see that as not really as much of an issue. And the reason is because if you started at, like, for me, when I started watching NASCAR, well, when I was really getting invested in NASCAR, was like watching every single race of all the touring series, like Cup, Xfinity, Truck, ARCA, Whelen, K&N. I started doing that in late 2010. And at that point, pretty much all day races started between 1 and 2 o'clock. And then all night races started between like 6 and 7 o'clock. Except for the exception of one race of the season, and that was the finale at Homestead, which started, I believe, at 3:30. And I do agree with that for the reason of that allows it to be a night race. If that was like, it's going to be a night race if they started at 3:30, because by the end it's going to end under the lights, and I do like that a lot. So that's the one race where I'm okay with that being the start time. Yeah, I don't get the mentality. It's really stupid that they're doing that. In other news, we'll move on to more specific things that I don't like. The LA Clash. This is just about the dumbest thing NASCAR could have done to revitalize the Clash, you could say. I don't understand why NASCAR is just dead set on abandoning its image of a Southern sport. You know, like, I don't get it. I really don't get it. They really want to be some, like, huge pop, like, not huge popular, but, like, they want to be some pop culture, you know, kind of California dreaming sport, you could say, and they're just not. And quite frankly, they shouldn't be. There's a rule with literally any organization, group, game, TV show, book series, doesn't matter what it is. Don't abandon your core audience. That's just something you never should do because that's a good way to end up with no audience at all. NASCAR's core audience is in the hills of North Carolina, you could say. It's down in Greenville, South Carolina, Dayton, Ohio. It's in these places, and yet but NASCAR continues to do their best to go out to the West Coast, and I just don't understand why they want to do that. Let me screenshot the coordinates here, just in case I need them. But I'm gonna go ahead and like just lay these rails down because I don't want to bother carrying them. I don't want to carry them around, but I don't want to lose them at the same time. That's why I'm also trying to smelt all this stuff so that way I can not have to worry about carrying so much of it. It'll all be in ingots, so that way I can convert it to blocks. Yeah, I personally just, you know, I believe that these races should be more of them on the East Coast. I'll put it that way. It doesn't really matter where on the East Coast. It's just that that's clearly where NASCAR's main fan base is. And I'll put it like this as a better kind of, not analogy, but a better way of phrasing this, or better way of kind of explaining my point here. It doesn't matter if you bring races to the biggest cities across the country if nobody's showing up to them. A good example of this is Texas Motor Speedway. They pull in 50, maybe 60,000 fans on a good day, which isn't horrible, but you can't tell me that if we did 3 races a year at Charlotte, they wouldn't pull in at least 80,000 for each of those races. And, you know, I know that Texas is out there already. They don't want to lose their money on having it, and they don't want to abandon the fans out there. But I don't really care, I guess is the best way to put it. As somebody who is, you know, East Coast NASCAR viewer, I got to go to the Roval a couple days ago. At the time of recording this, the Roval was yesterday, but it might take me 8,000 years to get the video out, so it might not be yesterday when I'm uploading this. Probably won't be. But I would love to see more races on the East Coast. I know that not every race is going to be on the East Coast, but if we just take a look at like the 90s or whatever, there was 2 races at Wilkesboro, 2 races at Rockingham, 2 races at Charlotte, 2 races at Darlington, 2 races at Bristol, 2 races at Martinsville, 2 races at Richmond, 2 races at Daytona, 2 races at Atlanta. You know, pretty much all the races in this area, like on the southeast, got 2 races a year. And then we go off to California, you know, we'd go to Kansas, we'd go to Chicagoland, we'd go to Texas. Well, actually, no, that wasn't until later, but still, we'd go to a bunch of different places. But the point is, you know, NASCAR really did abandon their core audience to go to these places. And I'm not saying that we can't go to places out in the Midwest and on the East Coast and things like, or not East Coast, sorry, the West Coast. I'm not saying we can't do that. I'm just saying that it would probably be a smarter decision to keep those races closer to the East Coast. And the reason I bring this up, finally get to the actual point that I wanted to make this whole time, is that the Clash belongs on the East Coast. I'm not one of the people that believes that it has to be. Man, fighting me. All these mobs coming after me. Leave me alone. I hate this freaking combat. It's terrible. Anyway, I'm not one of the people that believes it has to be at Daytona. However, you'd think that they would want to put their kind of big season opener, not for points, but you get what I mean, bringing back the NASCAR season on the East Coast where they could get more people going. From what I've heard, California isn't exactly, or at least specifically that section, isn't really that big of a sports area. I might be wrong, and once again, if we can draw in 80-some thousand spectators for this race at the LA Coliseum, I'm still going to be upset about it. It's not really about attendance to me as much as it is about the race should be run on the East Coast. The fans on the East Coast deserve it. I'm going to keep the deep slate. Why not? I'm not saying that every race has to be on the East Coast, but the more races that are on the East Coast, the better. The better things are going to be in terms of attendance, and also in terms of relation with the fans. I would say that probably about 60% of the people who watch NASCAR are congregated in the same kind of southeast area of the country, from like Virginia area down to Florida. There's obviously viewers from across the country, some across the world even. But the East Coast is where NASCAR belongs, and I think that they should have kept the Clash on the East Coast. And on top of that, the venue they're doing this at just doesn't seem like a good idea either. They're making their own track for this when we could just be going. And now I've seen a lot of people say they should have gone to Wilkesboro. That was just not going to happen. That's not possible with the way things are currently outlined. They couldn't do that. Oh shoot, wrong button. There we go. As far as I'm aware, that was just like, it's just not gonna happen. But still, let me go ahead and grab this obsidian. But I still do think that oh man, I lost my train of thought. Well, I probably was trying to say something kind of important, but oh yeah, Wilkesboro. My bad, I forgot about what I was doing there for a second. Wilkesboro is just not a feasible thing right now. I think it could be later next year, like for SRX or something. I just don't think that can get done. That could have gotten done for the Clash. But I'd still like to see Wilkesboro come back. But that's a topic for another video. Anyway, my personal opinion is that Bowman Gray or Hickory, one of those two, would be much better options for the Clash. Hickory specifically. As much as I love Bowman Gray, and as good as I think that race would be, I still think Hickory would be the better option to take there. Because, I mean, it's literally the home of NASCAR. That's where a lot of drivers came from. A lot of drivers, new and old, grew up racing around that track there. And they could put in some temporary stands. They could, work out some deals to get bigger parking lots. I know at Charlotte, a lot of people park in the fields, and I know there's a lot of area near that track where they could have some parking. But I think that would be a good idea. Especially also because, and I don't want to get political here because it really isn't important to why I don't want the race at LA Coliseum. It really just doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. However, was that my cobblestone? It was. Okay. The politics of it doesn't really matter in terms of why I don't want the race there, up until the point of we have no idea how this COVID thing is going to work. And LA, that area, has clearly proven that they do not want to deal with, they don't want racing going on because of COVID. On top of that, they're doing, that's not going to really affect it. I guess I was about to say, like, I know they're doing stuff with, like, electric cars. They don't like the output or whatever, but I guess that wouldn't really apply here because it's next year. Oh, LA also has other issues for the teams. You know, I don't really think it's a very good message that NASCAR is sending to the teams, telling them, hey, you know, this brand new car that you guys just, you know, bought, you're put together. We want you to travel the whole way across the country with that brand new car, and we want you to race this thing in a meaningless non-points race and just basically wreck each other. That is not a good message to team owners. For all that NASCAR has done recently about cutting costs. Is that a glitch? I don't know what the heck that creeper was doing. But it's not a very good message to be sending these teams. Not at all. And so I believe that they should have just done something right where the teams are. And this would be a different story if they were using the Gen 6, because then that wouldn't be an issue. There would still be other issues, obviously. But, you know, it's not as big of a deal. But I still just don't think that it's a good message to the teams to be telling them that. You know, on top of that, we also have no idea how this track's going to race, what's going to happen. And I'd rather not see a blatant just crap show. And this goes kind of along with NASCAR's drive for entertainment over actual sport. That I can talk about more in depth later. I'm not going to break this because I want to keep it for later. Let me screenshot the coordinates here. I'll probably come build like a farm or something here. Spawner farm or whatever they call them. Ooh, a disc. Some horse armor. Oh, there's a... What in the world? Why is there a double chest? Oh, that's a sword! Oh my gosh. That baby zombie had a sword. Holy crap. I did not see that coming. Okay then. Well, good to know. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. I just got destroyed. I don't have any more food, so I guess I do have to break this. Because I'd rather not get destroyed again like that. Oh, that's why. There was a double spawner. Well, I probably shouldn't have broken it then. Man, I do not have enough room for everything that I'm trying to bring along with me. I need to carry the bones with me so that way I can get dogs. I'd like to collect some doggos. Ooh, bread. Okay. Well, shoot, I can't use it. Oh, name tags. Okay. Time for me to start, I guess, working out what I'm gonna do. Let me take a screenshot again of this. Actually, no, I already have one. In case I need to come back. This recording's getting really, really long. I apologize for that. But I'll talk a little bit about other things in a second. But the last thing I wanted to say on the LA Coliseum issue is that the race should have been on the East Coast. It's not a good message to the teams. NASCAR, this is just another example of them going for entertainment over, you know, actual sport. And I'm not saying that I don't like to be entertained. This is just not how I like to be entertained when it comes to NASCAR races. I would prefer them to do other things. Here, I'll keep the bread on me so I can eat it. And then I'll come back and get the other stuff once I smelt everything. Yeah, I shouldn't have broken those spawners. I'm an idiot. But you know, NASCAR is going for more entertainment over racing product, and while I'm not going to say I don't like to be entertained, I am going to say that that's not exactly my favorite form of entertainment, because we all know that the only thing that they're doing here is they're just basically wrecking each other. That's the only reason. If I went down here, right? Did I? I did not. Okay, well, this is a huge area to explore. Jeez. Anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and like, block off the paths that I went on already. But that still needs to be explored more. I might have to go make a house, put this stuff up, and then come back. Go ahead and put this stuff in the furnace and in the chest, so I can gather some more stuff. Ah! I need to make a shield. Oh yeah, I forgot I have my offhand that I can carry stuff in. Let me go ahead and make a second chest here to put alongside this one. Just gonna have it floating there. I'll go ahead and smelt the raw iron and the raw copper. And in the meantime, let me put a bunch of this useless stuff up. There's some diamonds in there. Actually, I'll keep the diamonds on me. But there's a lot of stuff that I don't need to keep on me right now. Music discs. Let me convert this stack of coal and this one as well into blocks, and I'll put them in there, and I'll go ahead and put that stuff in there. And shoot, is there any food in here? Yes, there is. Okay. And then there's glow berries that I'd prefer not to have to eat. I think I'm gonna head back up to the surface soon, get some more food, put some stuff away in chests, and then come back down here. I need to get building on the house anyway. I'm only planning on doing like 30 episodes, and I'm already on episode 3, and I've hit none of my goals. Well, actually, no, I've explored some of the newer biomes, so I guess I have hit some of my goals. Yeah, NASCAR's going for more entertainment over racing product, and they're literally just telling these guys to go out here and wreck each other, and I don't like that at all about the Clash. I don't want that to be what they're doing. But you know, why does my opinion matter? Anyway, moving on from that, we'll go ahead and talk about some more stuff that I really just didn't like about the schedule. Another one is the fact that Circuit of the Americas stayed on there. Look, I'm not saying that every race there is going to be terrible, and I'm not saying that the track, like, I'm not saying it cannot produce good racing. What I am saying is that it's not conducive for good stock car racing. NASCAR just, it's not going to work there. It's just not. I'm not saying, once again, that every race is going to be bad, but what I am saying is I think that the track is not going to produce consistently good racing. It's just not a NASCAR track. It's a good Formula One track. It's a okay IndyCar track, but it's not a NASCAR track. And the way the turns are set up, it just does not look like it's set up well for the drivers at all. A lot of the corners are technical in a way that it really isn't a good thing that they're like that. It's not the good kind of technical kind of corners, it's the bad kind. Man, I don't know where all these zombies are that I'm hearing, but I don't like it. I really do not like Circuit of the Americas, and I think that the race was actually made better in the spring because of the rain. So I'm not saying this because I'm one of those people that's like, oh, you know, it was a bad race because the rain and it was a crap show, and you know, because a lot of people were saying, please NASCAR, give Coda a second chance. I'm not 100% against a second chance. Maybe, I mean, a couple races this year have proved me wrong. Not the newer ones, but I thought that the plate package that they changed after Logano cried about his flip at the spring Talladega race, I thought that the package was going to be horrible, but it was actually better than what it was after they nerfed the power after Newman's crash. So maybe Coda will prove me wrong. I don't think it will, but I certainly hope it does, or else it'll be a waste of time to watch the race. But overall, I don't like that Coda got to stay. And speaking of that, I don't really like all these new road courses. Everybody's big talk, the big talk right now in NASCAR, I should say. I fumbled over my words there for a second. The big talk in NASCAR is that, you know, like the fan base, it's all big motor, small blade, and got to go to all these short tracks and road courses. When in reality, I honestly could not care less about more short tracks and road courses. The only reason I want Wilkesboro and Rockingham back is because I think both of those two tracks and those areas deserve to have races after what they've done for NASCAR. And on top of that, I think they're good tracks, but I'm not saying that every race has to be a short track where the two leaders are like door slamming each other the entire lap, like the entire way to the end. I'm not saying that at all. I know that some fans are, and it's giving NASCAR a bad idea of what the fans want. And that's another topic. Oh, that's a different topic for another video. So I will probably make a video talking about NASCAR fans not really being all that intelligent about the way they go about asking NASCAR to do certain things and make certain changes. But overall, I just feel like NASCAR fans are pretty horrible at asking the right questions and getting NASCAR to do the right thing that they want. And it's a good example with the road courses because NASCAR keeps adding a lot of road courses, and it's like a lot of the I couldn't. There's, in my personal opinion, actually, you know what? Never mind. I'll give that at the end of the video. I'll give that at the end of the video. But man, playing Minecraft makes me exhausted for some reason. But I don't like the road course, like so many road courses. I just don't. Anyway, let's talk about some of the other changes that I don't like, or certain things that I specifically don't like, whether they were a change or not. Richmond's out of the playoffs entirely. I think that's a horrible decision. Like I said, I liked it. Man, Minecraft makes me exhausted. Like I said, I like Richmond a lot. I liked the playoff race this year, and I think it deserves a spot. The removal of the Pocono doubleheader, I do not like it. Both races at Pocono this year were phenomenal. They put on some good shows recently, and I think that Pocono definitely deserved to keep that date at least one more year, keep 2 races. Gateway. Once again, this is a track that might prove me wrong, but of all the tracks that NASCAR could have added to the schedule, why Gateway? I don't like it at all. It's not set up whatsoever for good racing, at least with these cars. It might prove me wrong, but I seriously doubt it. We'll see. We'll see if it proves me wrong. I hope it does, but I seriously doubt it. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention on the things that I like. I do like that they moved Bristol to a night race, the spring dirt race. I do like that. So I just wanted to point that out. Well, I had just gone back over and looked at the schedule and saw that. I do like, I will say, that Coda's earlier in the schedule. So I guess that's something. They got a road course in March. But the biggest thing for me, and this is where I'm going to rant a lot like I did with the LA Coliseum race. Why is Phoenix the finale again? I mean, seriously, their one good argument of why their track is like meaningful is the fact that it has that massive runoff dogleg, which I absolutely despise, and it has the light up cactus. I mean, seriously, I can just imagine the board meeting for the NASCAR, basically the NASCAR executives getting together and trying to figure out what the next schedule should look like, and you know, somebody says, you know, we should keep Homestead as the finale. You know, it's the best mile and a half, one of the best, arguably the best track in NASCAR. It always produces absolutely fantastic championship battles every year, and it has for years and years and years. No matter what championship system we've brought, Homestead never fails to deliver. And then someone said, but Phoenix has a light up cactus. And then executives were just like, you know what, let's go with the light up cactus. Because I don't see any other merit to Phoenix. I've hated the track ever since they repaved it. It sucks. It's terrible. And if you disagree with me, you're objectively wrong. Phoenix, I think you could make an argument for Phoenix being the worst track in NASCAR right now. At least the most boring. I mean, holy crap. That track is horrendous. They have to coat it with PJ1 to make it somewhat interesting. Even then, the track is absolutely horrible. If you discount the 2020 spring race, both races in 2019 and the 2020 fall race had a combined, I think, 10 lead changes. Green flag passes the lead. My mistake there. Yeah, that's abysmal, and that cannot be blamed on the package because this big motor, small blade package, as people call it, still sucked at Phoenix. So, all in all, it's a track. It's a terrible track. There's no other explanation for it. It's way too flat, doesn't have progressive banking at all, and on top of that, when the start-finish line got moved, now it's just a stupid runoff into turn 1. It's just, overall, the track's pretty horrible, and the fact that it gets to host the finale pretty much just because it invested. You know, Talladega put like some $50 million into its infield. Why don't we give the season finale to Talladega? It'd be a better race than Phoenix, at least. That's not a joke, by the way. I would rather Talladega as the season finale as Phoenix, because at least the race would be interesting. This championship format's enough of a crapshoot anyway. You know, it might as well be held at Talladega. That's something that I'm going to talk about actually in my discussion of what I think NASCAR could do to fix the schedule. However, this video has run on long enough. I've been recording for actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and make it into one whole video. Why not? I'm going to give you like an hour-long Minecraft Let's Play. So I hope you guys enjoy the fact that I'm making such a ridiculously long video. But now I guess I'll go ahead and talk about the things that I think, basically my personal changes. The first one and the most immediate one is to make a lot of races, make all races start at the 2011 times. 1 o'clock for most day races, or between 1 to 2 for day races, between 6 and 7 for night races, and then have season finale be at starting at 3:30. So let's go ahead and talk about it. I'd have the Clash at Hickory. I don't care what logistics. I don't care if the parking would be horrible. I really don't. Hickory should have the finale. And then I think that actually a lot of the schedule is really good until we get to Circuit of the Americas. I would replace Circuit of the Americas with a second Homestead Miami day. And have this one just be a purely day race that does not transition into a night race at all. So that's what I would I would have that be the replacement for COTA. The next couple changes, let me actually look at the schedule real quick, so I can make sure. I had like a list of changes that I would make. I would also let me see. This is quite a long schedule to scroll through. Oh yeah, obviously give Kansas a night race. I'd actually have that one be the one in the playoffs this time. And also give Las Vegas I'd give Las Vegas a spring race, the night race one. I'd have the spring race be the night race for Vegas. Where did I dig up from here? Alright, I'm gonna go probably build a house now. Yeah, so I would have the Las Vegas spring race be a night race, and the fall Kansas race be the other night race there. I'm gonna build a house right here in the middle of the forest. No, I put all the bones away. Shoot. Oh, there's 2 of them. I could have gotten a dog. I'm gonna build a house up on that cliff, and then hopefully these dogs will still be here. Die. What? Let me rearrange my my hotbar here. Oh man, that was not fun. Trying to get all the way back over here. Well, it's my own stupid fault that I blew up. Anyway, let me just collect some of these from the house. Might as well have some flowers at the door or something like that. But anyway, yeah, I need to find me some food. Oh, I heard a cow. There's an egg, so there should be a chicken. Alright, here's me some food. Die. Now I gotta find that cow. Get me some beef. Anyway, oh, another egg. Alright. I don't want to eat bunny meat. That's kind of mean. Anyway, I wish bats dropped meat in this game. It'd be hilarious. If you know what I mean. Anyway, let me go ahead and cook some of this up while I look for that cow. Anyway, so yeah, I would make the things that I said there with the homestead getting an extra day, start times, things like that. I would give Pocono its second race back and take that from Gateway. I would also make the All-Star race something different. I'll talk about that. I put Texas. I would put Texas in the week. It was points race in the week before the 600. But then I would put the All-Star race the week before the Talladega points race. And you can probably guess where this is going. I would give the All-Star race to Talladega. Now I know that SMI probably wants to keep it, but like I've said before, I really don't care. I think that the All-Star race should go to Talladega, and I have literally the perfect format. Let every single car into the race. Don't have it where they have to win to make it in. Same thing for the Clash. Just whoever shows up, shows up. So Talladega. Actually, no. You could run the Open. Either one would work. You could either not have the Open, or you could have like a 10-lap Open or whatever, and the top 2 finishers get in. I think that would work. As well as the fan vote. But you don't have to. They could just, like, NASCAR doesn't have to do that. They could just do the normal. Let me go ahead and move some of this stuff. They could just go ahead and use like the format for the Clash with this. No, everybody's eligible. Also, what they could do. Well, actually, no. But then I'd also have them do, like, I don't know, a couple stages for the Talladega race, and I think it should be average finish. Have like 3 5-lap stages, and your average finish sets where you line up for the final 10-lap sprint at the end. Caution laps would not count in the main event, but they would count, or not in the main event. Sorry, cautions would not count in the stages, but they wouldn't. Or caution laps would not count in the stages, but they would count in the final stage. And then, like I say, I think this was the cave where I came up, so I need to go build my house now. And actually, they're slow to recover. But then have, you know, the last 10-lapper to the end, and then also allow teams to use they get a backup car that they can prepare, and they should have it where before the final stage, all teams are allowed to pull out their backup car and use their backup car if they so choose. So if teams want to use a backup car for the final race, or for the final main event, final 10 lap sprint at the end, they can use a backup car. But you have to start at the back, and you lose your average finish position. So that way, if you wreck out, being stupid or whatever, you can still compete. It's not the complete end of your day, until of course the final stage starts. But that way drivers can still be stupid. And then, $1 million is up for grabs a lot easier than it would be at Texas. So I think that would work best for the All-Star race. Oh yeah, I forgot that this is food. I've been forgetting that this whole time. Anyway, let me climb up here. I think I'm gonna have it start. Like, where's a good starting spot for the house? I want to have it at the top of the hill right here. So like right here probably. Do I have a shovel on me? Yes, I do. I'll go ahead and dig out all this mess. And then right here, gonna have my bridge. Let me think. How should I make this? Going to build quite a long walkway because I'm planning on building other rooms out here. I've been having like one central hub with the chest room and stuff like that. So I'll build it a little ways out here. Also, I'm planning on having like the rail system roll out here. I actually want to like really build out on this world. But anyway, the only other real major change that I would make is I would make the regular season finale be Richmond. I know I said that I complained about not having both Richmond races in the playoffs, but honestly I'm okay with them not being in there. For the reason that I'm moving a different track into the playoffs, and that's Daytona, and I would make Daytona the season finale. Call me crazy, but if we're gonna have this format, I mean, let me put it this way. When you make the Final Four, there is no extra help there. As long as you are in the Final Four, you can win the championship just as easily as any other competitor in there. And while that is completely unfair, I will admit, if we're going to run this format, then we might as well guarantee that the last race is as awesome as it possibly can be. And this would mean that the drivers fighting for the championship are going to have to do so through drafting. And this also gives all other teams one last shot at a victory before the end of the season. I think it's a win-win situation for everybody. Everybody's happy here. And on top of that, like if we look at it, Chase Elliott was nowhere near the best driver last year. In 2018, Logano wasn't. Harvick in 2014, almost every year it's not the best driver all season long. So it's very obvious that it doesn't matter, if you were one of the better drivers that season. It doesn't matter towards you actually, winning the title. So what's important about that is if that doesn't matter, if you're not going to get any bonus for doing well throughout the season, as long as you make the Final Four, you're on a clean slate, then you might as well just have it at Daytona. You might as well. There's no reason not to. There's no reason not to have the finale at Daytona, and I'm an idiot because I got this to complete the bridge. But anyway, let me go ahead and that's the wrong place for that. There's no reason to not have the finale at why is the door like... No, that's not how I want this door. I don't want it to open like that. There we go, but why is it here? I want it on the back of the freaking thing. Why? Am I gonna have to crouch off the... There we go. Jeez, that was way too difficult. Way more difficult than it should have been. Actually, wait a minute. Why am I using... I don't know which would look better, spruce or cobble. You know what? I'm not going to finish the bridge this episode. Just let me know which one do you think would look better for the railing. Cobblestone? Or not the railing, but like the sidewall. I think wood might, but let me know if cobble would work. Well, then again, maybe I'll build a cobblestone variant for the like the smelting room. That's probably what I'll do. Anyway, that's really the last change that I would make to the schedule. It's not horrible by any means, but it's not great either. And it's also not helped by the fact that over the last like 10 years, a lot of tracks kind of ruined themselves. Kentucky was good before they repaved it. Texas was great before they repaved it. You know, Pocono was not helped by this aero package. Michigan was better before they repaved it. A lot of tracks have gotten worse over time. You know, Atlanta's having to be repaved. Things like that. Darlington needs to be repaved. So there's a lot of tracks that have gotten worse. Bristol, you know, that's definitely one of them. But overall, I do feel like that this schedule isn't horrible. It's not as bad as it could have been. And I hope that Gateway proves me wrong. I hope Coda proves me wrong. However, I don't think they will. So with that being said, I'm sorry to kind of end it on the negative note there, but I've got some other video topics lined up. I think in the next video, I'm going to be talking about what I said with NASCAR doing almost a bait and switch, where they basically are like, oh yeah, we know that you want this thing, so we're going to kind of give it to you, but not really. Yeah, I'll probably talk about that as well as some other dumb things that NASCAR has done. But until then, that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. But yeah, until the next episode, I hope you guys enjoyed. And I'll see you guys in episode, like, it's 4. Yeah, episode 4.